Everybody just want to be happy and free, right? So today we've got a very special guest, and while we are going to invite him, I just want to have a shout out to Lok and Raja, who's in our webinar. For those of you who can hear me loud and clear on FB Live, say hi, because today I'm using my new gear. So I'm very grateful and very surprised for my teammates who actually gave me a very early birthday present in the form of a um, mic, which is a very special mic. I always wanted to get one, right? So, and for those of you who are listening in, can you help us to share this webinar? Because the intention of us doing this session is really about helping more people, getting them motivated, inspired, and give them strength. That especially these tough times, right? Everybody is struggling, and I know how tough it is going through my trade crisis, and we just wanted to do whatever we can. And so far, we've managed to invite 11 people, not really 11, 10, right? Not including on myself because I was being interviewed last week. And for those of you who have missed the earlier session, please go to YouTube, our channel, J Advisory, where you can actually catch the other 10 episodes in case you have missed it, right? So we've got a very special guest today. And for those of you who are listening in, this guest is a very special guest. Why? Because we've invited him all the way from Singapore. So before I get him on stage, just like you guys to type into the comment box to see where you are zooming in from, or where you're calling in from, or where you're listening from, right? And this is a very personal friend, a student, if I may, where I met him in 2013 when he was going through one of his first financial crisis. So BK is actually a physiotherapist. And I've asked the question, what has physiotherapists got to do with property investment, right? So actually nothing. But the truth of the matter is, BK, when he graduated and he started working, he wanted to walk the journey less traveled, or the path less traveled. So let's listen to BK because he's going to share with you how he overcome his situation back in 2013. And please feel free to ask any question you want, because the intention here, again, is to hope from this sharing, we want to inspire you guys for you to continue doing what you're doing. As long as you survive through this crisis, you're already a winner. And hopefully we'll be able to pen down 3 of the learnings from BK, right? So without further ado, can you give him a round of virtual applause? Yay! BK, are you there?
Can you hear?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All
I
right.
thought you fell asleep because I was talking too long.
I was waiting for your signal. You say wait for your signal. I don't know why. So okay. Yeah. So wish everyone happy evening, and it's a Wednesday. So great Wednesday to everyone here. All right. So yeah. So if around here can actually just share whatever you think. Then today I hope to be a fun session because I think what I know is like Kaho told me is to share the stories. So I think that if we have some fun or chit chat type of version, I think it can be more inspiring and we can share more. Then definitely I think a lot of people, including yourself, also will benefit from that. All right.
Yeah, I love how you shared with us last Saturday in our debt management workshop. It brings back a lot of memories, and that's the reason why I invited you to share. I guess mainly because sometimes when people who are very close to you, or sometimes you take for granted and you've forgotten about them, you keep on trying to ask other people to share the story. So then I'm thinking like, well, how come I never asked BK to share before? Then, yeah, that's why naturally I asked you on Monday, and then you say yes. So I was like very happy. Yeah. So for those of you who do not know, BK actually is from Penang, right? And he got his first job, I think, in Singapore, right?
Yeah, that's the first start from Penang, study in KL, and then it's like furthermore to Singapore, like going to the south, journey to the south, I would say.
Yeah. So Maybe just to start off this evening, right? While a lot of our listeners could be having dinner, just got back from work, uh, I heard some of them actually, treat this like Oprah, while they're having dinner, they're actually watching this video, which is a very big compliment to me, lah. So, I mean, let's just start off the session by asking BK, hey, BK, how's the situation in Singapore for all the listeners who are in Malaysia?
Well, that's a good one. I would say, if you are in Singapore, right, you will want to experience it. I would say that starting from Monday, actually they start open up, dine out. So dine out, but kept with 2 people. Okay, so at least you can dine out already in Singapore at this current situation. And then 2 people, which means husband and wife, you got to like appreciate this timing, without the kids going out with you. So husband and wife or couple, they can actually have dine out session. And then we are waiting for further notice lah. So as of right now, I would say that we're quite blessed. Right now, Singapore is actually better control right now, and very fast. They are doing this antigen test. Everyone at home right now, right? They actually can initiate this test. You can just buy the kits at the pharmacy store. Then you can get yourself tested, and then within 30 minutes, you will know the result. Even though the accuracy is about 80%, but it's quite good already. Let's say positive, then if immediately you need to self-quarantine already. No need to wait for the authorities.
Wow.
All right. So that's the stage.
So
right now.
efficient. I mean, I really love Singapore. Every time when I'm there, I always feel very connected to it because of how effective and how efficient it is, So you can get a lot of things done there. So really like what you say, you can actually go into a clinic and really buy and get to know within 30 minutes. That's impressive.
Yeah. And the age group also, right now, I think starting from 12 years old, you're okay to actually go for vaccination already. I'm not sure whether how Malaysia right now, how's Malaysia situation?
Malaysian situation, as I was just sharing earlier, I got to know that ever since we had MCO 3.0, or some people call it 4.0, I think it has slowly gone down in terms of the cases. But I also got to know that the cases gone down because there were less tests as well. So not too sure whether it's a good thing or not. But of course, I think a lot of people will argue if you do less tests, definitely the numbers will go down.
Yeah, lor. I also heard from my friends, I don't know, they say that it's like not accurate as in like they don't really like go test for everyone, right? So I'm not sure. So hopefully Malaysian summer going down as well.
Hey, but I just want to check with you, VK, because since you are just working in Singapore, right, and I think you already treat Singapore like your second home, and Johor maybe like your first home, Penang, Penang is just like your hometown, right?
Yeah.
How does it feel being away from Malaysia for so long? Because I think you were stuck there ever since like March 18 last year, right?
Last year, yeah. It's like unexpected, I would say, because it's almost like 1 year already. Yeah, so
1 year
very
plus.
fast. 1 year plus. Yeah, you can't imagine this situation as is. Initially, like we thought that 3 months, maybe 2 months, everything will be okay. So looking forward to go back as usual, because I actually most of the days I'll be spent in Singapore, in JB, Johor Bahru, with my friends and my girlfriend as well. So right now in Singapore, it's like, I would say, it's like starting, I would say one person, like, it's like boring life. Initially, I would say that work, then come back, and then just catch up with some friend, and then go back to work. Yeah, then a lot of, I would say, souls or maybe mindset get some things like, I would say maybe not so positive or optimistic. I would say it requires me to actually to go through this. I believe everyone also it's like emptiness, like I miss my friends and family, especially in Malaysia, because like example, we've been doing something before the MCO, like investment or even in properties. We do a lot of things together. And then throughout this lockdown, right, things change. And I feel like I need to recharge. I need to go to my friend's house, to the beach area to recharge. Or else I would say that it become like back to previously, before I venture into this journey. I would say that people so call it robotic lifestyle. As in like, you will see someone, like even doing myself, I would say that emotionless. Like morning, get out to work.
The
And
robot
you
lah.
just like robot lah. You just set up. Okay, got to work. Okay, go. You go. Very fast one. You will see people pass by very fast. You can imagine that and then come back home, and then you got nothing to do already. Oh, so just learn online learning something, but still feel something missing. I would say that a relationship, the one is the most important for me, especially my friends and my good friend, all in Johor.
But since you're on the topic, right, BK, because sometimes I know a lot of us are struggling right now because in Malaysia it's MCO 3.0 and a lot of us are stuck at home. But I guess it is definitely much more challenging for you because for me, if I'm stuck at home, at least I'm stuck with my family, right? So I think it must be even more challenging for you or anybody who is also in your same situation, especially in Singapore or not in Malaysia, lah, and having to be independent. So how do you manage? I'm just curious. I know 1 year plus is not a short time, right?
Yeah, I would say quite blessed also because I think that I learned this from my Taiko also from Johor. They mentioned to me, I'm actually quite blessed because at this current situation, right, we have this so-called Zoom or video call. You can imagine that if let's say this pandemic happened few years back, I tell you, can't even face to face like right now. So I would say that Zoom and video call become like routine or even a habit for me already right now. It's like every day we need to Zoom and also things for us to actually, for me, I feel more appreciative, especially when last time without the Zoom or without joining the Zoom, right? Maybe I talk to my family once a week. And then now it's like with a video call, then I feel more, at least I make it like 2 to 3 times to talk to my family.
Oh, that's very frequent.
Yeah, like you told me, this is one of the session that you say, what is the missing part that I feel happy when I do this? So I realized that when I talk to my family, even my girlfriend, then it's like actually part of recharging to me.
That's good. So you make it a ritual, make it a routine to actually contact your loved ones, your family, as well as your girlfriend.
Yeah, so that is the one part that I would say that at least don't feel so lonely or emptiness, something like empty. No matter how I go watch movie, cinema, one person, I cannot feel such happy. Even though I go shopping.
At least you can watch cinema, no? Over here in Malaysia, we all stuck four walls. I think it's both good and bad, lah, right? So in Malaysia, if those of you who are with the family, then at least you count a blessing, lah, no? But if you're in Singapore, if you're not with your family and you're alone, but you actually, Singapore right now is so efficient that they already open up, right? So you can go out and do stuff, lah. So maybe we can do a poll, right? So how many of you actually are living away from your family? Maybe you want to type 1, and those who are stuck with the family.
Yeah, and here I want to share one valuable lessons I learned to you all. I think most important right now, I realized one thing, like I spend money, I go and watch movie, one person. I can't feel the excitement or happiness. So what I learned that actually there's something that really money cannot buy the happiness. Even though you can imagine one day you are rich or you are really worry-free without financially. But don't forget, I would say that this pandemic actually is a great lesson for me, especially I'm experiencing right now. I cannot go back to my hometown to hug my family or even give my girlfriend a hug also. I go to spend money, like go massage to relieve myself, go watch movie, cinema. But I still feel, I would say that this is the things are missing. Even though you spend money, but you can't buy that certain happiness in this part.
I love it how you say like I cannot agree more with it, because sometimes we know money can't buy happiness, but sometimes without money also there is no happiness.
True,
right.
True,
there's
true.
A lot of suffering. I wouldn't say
True.
There's no happiness, but there's going to be more suffering, especially if you have kids like myself. I have 3 kids, right? So let's go into the details of it, because I think a lot of the listeners are also curious. Maybe you can share with us a bit about your background, because I know when I met you for the first time, I already know you as a doctor, right? So how different is it from a doctor and a physiotherapist? And what is it that you do? Maybe you can share with us.
Okay, I think, thanks for explaining this also, because I think a lot of people misunderstand what physiotherapists do. When I ask, a lot of people will say, physiotherapist is like masseuse, or like the person who massage. So I get initially I get, so people misunderstand me already. I'm a massager or masseuse in that sense. Okay. So I would say a physiotherapist is actually same like other degree course lah. We study 4 years. And the difference between physiotherapists and the doctors is doctor can do two things, surgery, and they can give medication.
Yep.
So physiotherapist wise, but other than medication and surgery, we are more towards rehabilitative, as in like you do rehab for people without going through the surgery or medication to help improve people's lifestyle and health. That's the key parts lah.
So you started doing physiotherapy or practicing physiotherapy straight away in Singapore already, right? After you graduated?
Yeah, because quite blessed lah. The Singapore side that time, right? The SGH Singapore General Hospital, I would say the principal physio manager, they came to our uni, and actually they headhunt us lah, few of us, all of us lah. So who are keen, and then you can apply in Singapore during that time.
Oh, so you started off as a employee first, right? In Singapore.
Yeah, correct. And it's in Singapore General Hospital during that time.
Okay, cool. Because later, the reason why I'm asking him that later we're going to grill him a bit deeper, because right now I understand that BK, you actually have your own practice, right? So how is it different from being a physiotherapist in SGH?
Wow, huge difference. I would say in SGH is like a stepping stone, especially you want to gain experience, right? Then SGH or General Hospital will be a great place, as in like you have unlimited people keep coming into you because they are subsidized by government, and then all people are actually here, right? Are well taken care of. So people with subsidies, right? They actually pay 20% only, or even 30% only, depends. Then they come to us to do a rehab. And yeah, so you gain a lot of experience because it's like very hectic, very busy lifestyle. I would say that in SGH, right, you don't even have time to pass urine or shit when you see patients. Like very busy, but it's actually great experience. Starting quite comfortable in Malaysia, right? I would say that when I come in Singapore, right, it really stressed. It took me, I think 2 years to settle down. Right? Can imagine like first week when I went to work, it like stress until I wake up in the middle of night and feel very stressed. Because why? People expect you work in Singapore, right? These people are very good in complaining and they're very good in quality of service. So very important. So the moment they knew you are a junior, so usually they will challenge you. They say, if let's say you're not doing quite well, right? They will say, okay, can I see your supervisor? Or can you help me to complain? Or I want to complain to the supervisor. So that's the things that actually get me very stressed out. Not even myself, I believe a lot of those people coming into Singapore, right? Especially when you start work. Really challenging.
Do you have nightmare in the middle of the night where you like mong yao, sleepwalking, doing physio for people?
This one I don't know. I have to ask my housemate already. But really tell you, you will wake up, you don't need alarm, that time you don't need alarm one. You will wake up at 5 o'clock because for me it start at maybe 8 o'clock. So I supposed to wake up at 7, but in the middle, 4 a.m. you wake up, 6 a.m. you wake up. You can imagine that type of level. So I'm not sure whether anyone experiencing this type of stress level when you as an employee and when you work in especially high demanding type of companies.
I definitely went through that when I was in my first job. I also have this kind of stress where I cannot sleep. Then in the middle of the night, you wake up like sweating cold sweat. So I can relate to what you're saying because the time we were in IT and you know how we have to support the IT system. If anything goes wrong, we have to resolve it before the next day the bank open, Wow. So that's the kind of stress as well. But would you say that, talking about money and talking about your situation, I just want to dive deeper into how you got into property, because was it also because of the stress that's caused when you were working in Singapore that pushed you to ask yourself, hey, what can I do more so that I can not do this? No?
Okay, I would say this, not really a main reason, not really a main one. It's actually happened since uni. I believe everyone studying uni in Malaysia, you will start to think of other kantao or lobang.
For sure.
You want to earn more. I saw my uni friends when they study in uni, they start to work as tutor. They got income. But for myself, I don't have any, I would say that I'm still quite studying type. So I need to look for another lobang. So I start to expose this book. I think a lot of people know, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So
Yeah.
when this book got me, right, then I start to work as a part-time in uni. So slowly this, the mindset very important is like, it plant through deeply. I would say that I want to achieve certain things in financial, so-called financial freedom. That time we call it financial freedom. Whenever I step out to work in the society, or the faster the better. That's the mindset that I got when I read through this book. And yeah, I saw my friends, they all working as tutor, and then they enjoy like go Genting, all this. So I start to have this mindset since I started from uni.
Go Genting to work or go Genting for somebody else?
Because they student, you got scholarship already, so they get to as a tutor, right, they got extra money, then they went to Genting, right, to actually firstly of course enjoying, secondly they make extra income, so called extra income, but in the end, at the end of the day, they still contribute to Uncle Lim.
Oh my God. So I just want to relate to you because Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad was my second book that got me inspired. My first book was Casual Quadrant, to overcome my first crisis. Last week I was sharing on that. So I love how it also helped you. I think it helped many people, but I guess it is also the same reason it got me into the problem, right? But of course, we don't blame the book, we still take responsibility for our own actions, right? But let's go deeper into like, how young were you then? When you say university, I presume it's like 20 .
About 19, 20, around there. I think 20 a year, correct.
And when we met the time, it was in 2013, but I don't know what age were you .
I think 24, at the age of 24.
So you mean that between the time when you start working to the age of 24, you bought 3 properties?
23, I start work. 23 to 24, between that period of 1 year, I start to buy property. 2012, actually 2012, I worked in Singapore for 1 year until 2013, right? Got a little bit of income. So 2013, I start to look for property. So 2013, buy properties continuously until 2014, I come and look for you for help already.
Oh, it was 2014. I thought it was 2013.
I think, 2014, 2013 end or 2014, around there.
So, I mean, for the benefit of everybody, because actually, I also don't really know the backstory of how you bought your 3 properties then. Do you mind sharing with us as well as the audience, like, what was the motivation, what was the mindset, and then how did you actually started buying,
Okay, sure. I think it started from a story of, I still remember very special words from Robert Kiyosaki. He said one word. I remember, I'm not sure whether one of you exposed this before. The more property you buy, actually the more cash flow you have. Or the more property you buy, actually you are getting
more income.
Yeah, income, correct. Getting more income.
I read that before.
The words. So, I'm so lucky, I would say that time, because I worked in Singapore. So one times, I think 2.45 during that period of time. 1 times 2.45.
Okay.
So 1 year, I already got some amount. So luckily, I would say luckily, I bought first property within about 300 plus K first property. And Tesla, I buy the first one from developer project.
Penang.
Johor.
Okay, because you just got to Singapore, why would you buy in Johor? Why wouldn't you buy in Singapore?
I think before attended a few classes, the guru told me, you buy property, you don't buy too far because you can't manage.
That's true.
So I also believe that, and I actually start traveling to Johor when I first start. Buy a property After buy I always say after you buy then only go to Johor and see the area. Because buy already, you put money already worry don't know how is the development. They say got hospital setting up, KTG hospital, and there's a mall coming in. a lot of people will tell me all this. So I need to go and verify and check. So that's how I got my first property. And then after first property, you sign SPA, everything settled down already, nothing much to do already, because you just wait for the loan and you just pay interest on it at that time, because it will take about 2 to 3 years to complete, if not mistaken. 2 to 3 years to complete.
Developer property,
Yeah. So when first buy, you feel, settle already. I pay the payment, down payment settle, and I got the loan, and I start paying interest monthly already. But the interest is about few hundreds lah. Initially, cannot feel. Yeah, correct. Cannot feel. So that time still feel like, okay. Robert Kiyosaki said, buy more income. So I buy one, I cannot feel anything. Okay. So next, should I go for second property? Okay. So second property, actually I start to go to the course. Actually I spend some money also, go to class. All these courses are also not cheap. It's about, during that time, 2,000 plus to 3,000 ringgit Malaysia.
Wow. Oh, you already started to go course already at that time?
One course only. I still remember that the guru called Milan Doshi. Yes, it's in KL. Yeah, so he taught me all this. Then with his theory, then I start into second and third properties. And yeah, because I think technical, I would say technical, because you know what, in Malaysia, last time, now I also same. One person entitled to residential property with 90% loan. Okay, 90% loan.
The time started already, man. I thought the time still haven't have that restriction yet.
Got ready, I remember got ready.
2014
around that period. Yeah.
Okay.
Got ready. That's why I have this mindset very strong into me that, I don't waste my last bullet, because last bullet I will get 2 properties for 90%. I think this is actually illegal. They call it illegal. Unless you know some lobang.
This is called creative financing.
Creative financing, yeah. Yeah. So after got into 3 with this, then the horror story will start. Because why? After you
please share with us.
Yeah, I bought the second and third, right? Also the same thing. No rasa. I'm not sure whether how many of you you buy developer as of right now also same. Maybe you don't feel anything yet, and you usually will plan. Same myself also will plan, because when buy 3 properties, all paying just interest, and all in the range of 300 plus K. So which means about 2013, 2014, that period of time, right? Accumulated probably about 900 plus K worth of properties during that time. So installment calculate already. Okay, every property is about 1,000 plus. So it's basically about maybe 4,000-5,000 ringgit Malaysia, 4,000-5,000. Still okay, right? Okay, I've calculate salary, then okay, I feel okay, that's good. So the nightmare starts actually, along the journey, you won't have such discipline like myself. I will say that, after get the properties, I pay installment, right? I will save the money first. The horror starts actually when I got the key, which is about 2 years, 2014, 2015 end to 2016, got the key. Then, all the properties I bought, it's actually partial furnished, a little bit partial furnished, I would say. So first, I didn't know that we need to pay the deposit for the TMB, all the hidden fees, so-called hidden fees.
Yep.
Okay, so that's his amount already, which out of my budget one. And the second thing is that I think I still remember I need to pay a lump sum. I don't know, for furnishing, because I need to rent it out, right? I need to renovate. So I asked my friend, hey, can you help me to renovate? So you can calculate easily one property is about 20K. That time small, I would say small. 20K is a very safe type already, 20K to 30K.
Very basic.
Very basic type. Yep. 20K to 30K. So I have 3, you can imagine that. So 3 times 20K to 30K, I estimate I need that amount. So that time I don't have that amount. So how? Get the key ready. Stress, right? So cannot do anything, right? Cannot rent it out. If no renovate, no furniture coming in, who's going to rent from you? Yeah, that's the first thing that I experienced. It's a nightmare. So I still remember, luckily, I during that time, I have known some of my buddies. One person, Green, he's one of my friends, that actually he helped me to actually budgeting my cost to help me to renovate one of my first property.
Hi, Rin. If you're listening, hi.
Yeah, I think now You're also doing a live over there,
Oh, really? Okay.
the other side.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's how, luckily, I think during this journey, I would say because of friends, the real buddies who actually helped me to go through this, the first thing. But the second thing is like the 2 and 3rd properties, remember, I bought that one. Also
Yep.
stressed out because during that time, luckily, it just got kitchen cabinet all partial furnished already. I just need to buy sofa, all this. So during that time, I remember that I just asked some money, just saving, and also some from, I think from my family, mainly from my family also. So during that time, managed to go through it, at least renovated, but still not renting yet, still not renting yet, because need to market, need to look for agents, all this. All these things will come in.
Question, you still holding it or you sold it already?
These 3 until now holding it.
Still holding.
memorable reminder for me also.
Because I don't remember seeing it in the list. Maybe I didn't remember to ask you, it didn't occur to me, no. But yeah, later we'll go through it again. But
Okay.
I like the way you were sharing with me in terms of how real is it, that even for me, I got into the situation where when you were saying for first time property buyer who don't know, right? When you get the keys to your property, you need to still allocate some funds to actually pay up 3 months of the management fee, the deposit for TNB and water, So, and then if you want to rent it out, then definitely there's going to be some cost in terms of renovation. Even just doing up lighting and painting also is already one cost. So I remember for me also, I got a nightmare, when the bill came from the developers. Like, what the hell is this? I didn't know, and then nobody tell me about this. It's like a shocking love letter.
Same.
So I love how you actually reminded me as well. And for those of you who can relate, you want to type first property, right? For those of you who haven't buy a first property, I think this is a good story for you to make sure you put some money aside. And then the other thing that I love for you to remind me was how you bought the property. First property, you couldn't feel it because it was still progressive interest. That means you're still paying for interest. And a second property and then another property. Because just yesterday, I was going through a one-on-one with one of my students, right? His installment on the credit card and the personal loan itself already burst his commitment portion, Something, he's earning like 12,000, but his repayment itself is already 7,000 or 8,000. And he bought the property, which was about 700,000, and now servicing interest.
Oh my gosh. Nightmare.
2 years down the road, his repayment is 3,000.
Oh.
So before I got him to do up his financial compass and his debt management template, he was telling me he was category A. So in the class, we talk about category A being if you're in debt, but you still have surplus, I mean, you still can save money. Category B is if you're in debt, but you're already having deficit. So when he came to the class early the time, he would say, I'm still category A, I'm still okay. But after when we at the end of the class, then he told me, shit, Kao, I think I'm category B. Then I'm like, oh.
True. Especially you won't predict, you don't know until you got the keys, you know the pain will start. So it's better to like how you say, really start, foresee the future first, at least few years ahead. You see that from your properties management then.
So I love how you pointed out, basically there's 2 components here. One you're saying is that even though you are confident buying 3 property, even though you have made or prepared the calculation well in advance, but because you didn't know your financial situation, which is the second component, and you do not refresh it or you do not, like a financial health check, like normal health check, we also check yearly to make sure we are healthy, right? But how many of us actually check yearly in our personal finance?
Yeah, talking about this also, same one. You won't, like myself, you set a target or every month I keep this amount, like 3 properties, 1 property is let's say 1,500. So which means 3 property, probably 4,500. I'll keep it every month to keep it. But before you got the key, you will question yourself. I'm not sure whether you experience or not. Where's the money? I don't see the amount in the bank account. I don't know where the money goes really.
This is
discipline, I would say.
This is what we call leakages, and then we talk about money automation system in our class to actually teach people to make sure that there is no leakages in their cash flow. So I just want to go back to you, asking you the question, because now that you mentioned 2016, you finally got your key. That means when we met in 2013 and you bought your fourth property at the time, you haven't got your keys yet, you haven't got your property vacant possession yet, right?
Yeah, not yet. I can't remember. I think not yet. 2015 only will start. When I find you for your help, right, during that time, it's like not yet getting the key yet. But they are coming to buy fourth properties. It's also a turnover for me during that time, really.
No wonder you were so concerned and you were asking me like, hey, Kahu, can I really buy? Because I thought at the point of time when you came in the coaching, so a bit of background is that BK signed up my Double Your Net Worth personal coaching back in 2013, and the result out of that coaching is that after 90 days of coaching, you're supposed to buy a property, right?
Yes, correct.
So he was sharing this story in our debt management workshop, which actually helped me relieve the moment, which is, I think, something which money cannot buy, because eventually you bought your fourth property, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
You want to share with the audience how you went through that? Because I think it must be very scary now that you tell me you haven't gotten your VP, because I didn't know, no, honestly. I know it is in your personal finance, I see it, right? But I think my focus really was making sure that you are able to manage your finance. And the focus here, since you already committed to engage me to help you to buy the fourth property, then I was very focused. That's how focused I am.
Correct. I think during that time when I looked for you, right, actually I also did not predict that these two properties, I think the second and third, right, haven't come into the pictures that I need to pay when I get the key, I need to pay that amount, which is a huge amount, and also do a renovation. During that time, haven't happened yet when I come to look for you, but I already got 3 properties on hand already when I look for you. Yeah, so along the way, after bought the fourth properties, then I think the second and third, right, come up that I need to pay the amount for the second and third properties. Yeah.
I see. Okay, so maybe you want to just share, like, when you met me in having the 3 property, what was the situation like? I know you were struggling, but in terms of like feeling wise, what were you feeling?
Yeah, I remember during that time when I looked for you, right? Actually, I was actually sort of helpless, sort of like feel like, oh, jialat already during that time. Why? Because I realized the 3 properties that I bought, right, haven't started the installment yet. But I can foresee all these 3, right? I estimated I need to keep about 4,500 at that time, Ringgit Malaysia. Still actually already towards probably a neck already. And then I remember that time I was thinking, how can I have more cash flow? Unless 2 options only. I believe everyone knows, if you want to increase your cash flow, first, you need to get income more from your job, or else, second, investment to increase the cash flow. Okay, to be specific, so investment in properties, right? When that time, when I got 3 already, it's in the negative to my mind already, like negative 4,500 to 5,000 already. If I buy another one, then it will become to my upper part, like very stressful. So I believe I have this mindset during that time. So I need to seek help, and you are the one told me that actually, luckily my cash flow, right, when I buy the fourth one, right, there's actually positive income to me, which means the cash flow, right, they'll be positive. That time I half believe, I also don't really, because I never experienced it. All the 3 properties I bought are developer, which means haven't got the key, never really ran out yet. And the fourth one is actually sub-sales that he actually took me into that. And he told me, you buy this, then research, do your homework, you will get a positive cash flow. I was half believer. Where got such good lobang? Buy and then got first cash. That my 3 properties didn't give me all this. If I buy fourth, imagine what if I buy the fourth one, not positive cash flow, but it's negative. So how?
It will drown you even deeper, right?
So I believe everyone can imagine that feeling. It's like during that time, I either take the first step to increase this cash flow, or else sit there, do nothing, just wait for this drowning. So I think that after research, and I think that believe in ourselves, so take the step and step out of this, to come out of this situation. No matter how you need to try whatever methods works. So during that time, it's quite lucky.
So for the benefit of audience, right, sub-sale basically means secondary property, secondary market. That means somebody who have already bought and stay, or bought already, not direct from developer, and you're buying off him, right? And the other one, you're talking about positive cash flow here, is talking about after you buy the property, assuming your installment, let's say, is 1,000, because those days is not so high a property price. And if you were able to rent it out for 1,500, so basically 500 ringgit will be your positive cash flow. So if you were able to duplicate this kind of formula for every property you buy, basically then you're making extra income on that. So
Yes.
imagine if one property get you 500 per month. So if you get 3 property, you get 1,500 per month, right?
Yes, correct.
So the reason why I could show you then is because I had the formula which I've managed to buy positive cash flow property before, right? It's just that I did share in many of my classes before that when the emotion take over, because I'm sure when you buy your positive cash flow property, you feel, how do you feel, BK?
Wow, I tell you, when excited, other than this, I would say that what if I duplicate the same concept, repeat and repeat again? That's the first thing when I got it ready. That's fun.
But exactly what you're saying, no? But the moment you bought your first one and you could see the money coming in, you feel so, it's like cloud nine kind of feeling, right?
Yeah, at least relief. You see the pressure to hear. At least you relieve 25% of it. Oh, you feel that, oh, okay, there's still help, or there's still hope in me.
Yeah, so the thing that I'm trying to lead is that how many of us actually have the discipline to continue with our formula? Because in my classes also, I did mention that even though I found the formula, I've managed to successfully coach people to get the same result, but I don't take my own advice. I think that's why I got into my second crisis, as well as for those of you who heard my sharing in episode 10. So that's why I think BK, after that as well, he I think it was on cloud nine, and I was very happy for him, because after that he sort of turned around his situation. Of course, he didn't tell me about the VP of his 2 property, because after that he went on his own journey, and then I was going on my own journey, and we just kept in touch, I think via WhatsApp or via phone only, right?
Yeah, correct. It's like after the coaching, then I go back. But I think I would say that after the coaching, the whole journey changed to me. It's a great impact that how I came to know my property teams and how I start my entrepreneurship, all this, a lot of all this, I think, really a memorable journey. Because of this, I would say the first kickstart, the sparks in this coaching session.
Yeah, I can still remember, thanks to you for reminding me, because BK is in Singapore, right? Those days when he was attending the 3 weekly sessions with me in KL, he basically have to take a bus all the way from JB to KL, of Singapore to KL.
Yeah, I usually take the last bus.
Yeah,
at night.
I was very not touched lah. What's that word lah? It's like you want to help people who want to help themselves. So when you see a young man so determined, then even more you want to make sure that he gets his result. So so far, I would say that I have not seen anybody with your kind of determination until now lah. Of course,
I would say quite blessed. Now people use Zoom already. Where got last time, no Zoom. You travel, have to travel to find seafood. When I got a seafood, I say, wow, really good, because someone can help me already. How precious is that? Because rather than no one telling anything to us, right? We go and bang the wall. Some people blank until bleeds also don't know yet. So I would say quite blessed. So when got this, I really must grab, and no matter how, you just go and do it.
Yeah. But let's just continue from there, because I think after that, you also share with me the story of how you found your team in Johor. What I mean, team here is he basically found a lot of buddies who he could invest together in properties, and that's where he got phenomenal result. I think if you look at the car that he buys, I'm also very happy because he gets to ferry me around. Yeah. So if for those of you who don't know, it's similar to the ice jar we teach. The logo is the same.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, share with me uh, I know he was very happy, but then very. I think that one you were on your top of the world, but eventually you hit another a roadblock as well, right?
A lot. I think even emotion, fear, a lot of changes. That's if I look back, I would say that's how it shaped me or mold me, how to be better, to improve. I believe everyone same. I would say after the coaching session, right? I remember the words you told me, team. That's the thing. You remember because during I got my 4 properties. I remember I tell you very excited. What if I get the 5th one, right? But this time around, it's actually another teammate found the gem. So when I would say not so good type of attitude coming up, but imagine you have this gem, you can say that this gem actually I can own it by myself. I can just buy it the 5th one. But you told me actually one thing. You told me in order to go far, you need a team. So you actually encouraged me to share this with the team. This gem, right? This positive cash flow gem, to share together with our teammates. So that's how my 5th property is actually, this gem is actually shared by 6 of us during this journey. I still remember this. Even until now, because of these properties, I actually link up with my buddies in Singapore. He's a doctor also in Singapore.
Cool.
Yeah, because of this. So you see, it's a ripple effect, reflect. And because of this team, actually, until 2016, 17 onwards, right, I managed to get a really wonderful team. These are my buddies and my taiko. They're actually the one who actually share me their experience in the entrepreneur or teach me, I would say that life, 做人的道理, because this is the most important thing. You won't get anywhere. If let's say I still work in Singapore General Hospital, I'm staying in my comfort zone, I just see patients only. All this is actually when I go outside, then you learn this.
Was that the time when you actually took that bold step to set up your own practice right now?
Yeah, it's one of it. It's from full employment, then decided to take a leap of faith. But I'm not so king like my buddies. They all totally jump out. For me, I start with part-time first. Start up my this business part-time, and also have some entrepreneur property investment in JB. Slowly build up.
I don't think it's a matter of king, powerful or not. I think it's really a matter of the transition, because some of the people who can switch directly, maybe sometimes they feel that they cannot multitask. They need to do this wholeheartedly. But of course, then you need to look back at your emergency funds. For you, actually, you are able, I mean, I've seen you work before, you're able to multitask many things. So, and definitely that way will be much safer, right? Because you manage to still keep your employment, but at the same time, you build up a side hustle, especially right now, a lot of people who are going through that may not have the luxury of keeping their job. Sometimes you get a pay cut, sometimes you lost your job, and they have to straight away quickly build up their side hustle, becoming their main hustle. So what would you share your experience, especially you went through that route before?
Yeah. So I would say no right, no wrong, because depending on your capability. So remember just now the challenge that I actually face actually is a decision to the T junction area, whether I still want to get a high pay income, I mean by full employment, or else start up a journey whereby it's a business, whereby my income's totally changed from higher to lower part. But because I think outside world we never really can imagine. When I start up my part-time, right, actually the income that I got is actually higher than the full employment. You can't imagine this. I'm not sure. I believe others industry, there is such possibility also. It's actually depending how determined. Yeah, right. Yes, yeah. Correct. So in my industry also same. When work in a full-time, right, I always always believe that when I come out as part-time, of course my salary will drop. But who knows? When I decided to take a leap of faith, right, step out, right, the income that I got actually equivalent when I started, equivalent to my 5 days work, but just work 3 days as my business in Singapore during that time. Yeah. So I think this is one of the challenge, one of the, I would say, reward or when you step up, right, you explore, then the reward that I got. But there, of course, there are challenges like during the period of time, actually I lost myself. Like, I don't know, a lot of people think you are like a body without a soul, People call it body without a soul.
Zombie.
Yeah, correct. Because during that time, that's another journey starts. When I work part-time in Singapore 3 days, right? The 4 days I'm in JB. So 4 days in JB, what I do, right, other than investment, I start up my property entrepreneur with my friends. The easiest one, because during that time also got a lot of option. Want to become a property management executive or someone to manage the properties, or want to involve in education, because during that time a lot of people exposed to the education, so I can be one of the people to help. Or property management, like people say Airbnb operator. There are a lot of these so-called options available, but don't know which one is suitable or which one is the best one. Don't know. So sure lost. So during that time, another action taken is like become an agent, try, just do. Well, that was another, I would say, a learning curve for me from a physiotherapist, whereby patients come and approach me, right? Then when you do sales, it's different story.
Yeah, how do you convince yourself to do it? Because a lot of people who have a medical degree, or rather they feel that they made it in life because they got a degree. Then suddenly, because of this pandemic or because of the whole environment change, suddenly they actually have to go and do sales, something which they may not be able to accept for the longest time, but they have to force themselves to do. What was your motivation?
Yes, correct. I would say one word is very important. One sentence, my dad always tell me what. In Mandarin, we call it 你要面子,你先要丢下面子. Means if you want your dignity, you have to lose your dignity first.
So contradicting.
Very cheap. Also that time I don't know. Okay, so how I got it actually, door knock. When I door knock, 10 people, I would say 9 people all the way. Some even chase me out of the unit. Because during sales, you do sales, you need to door knock, go to a stranger. You don't know where to start off. Then it's like actually take me a long time to settle down. When I want to go to the first door knock, right? I sit inside the car, and then I tell myself, I can do it. When I step out, right, I can step back again, sit inside the car. Oh, gosh, what am I going to do? I actually can, in Singapore, enjoy life while I come here. So, a lot of these voices are in your mind, Yeah, so all this is actually insight that I believe every one of you, let's say you take a leap of faith, you experience these, a lot of voices in you.
Hey, thank you for reminding me that the whole experience, because when I first came out and did insurance sales at the time, right, that was exactly how I felt, Actually, my manager didn't ask us to do door-to-door, but I go and pull my manager and ask him, hey, come, let's do door-to-door, because I wanted to experience what is it like to really go on the ground and start doing it, because I came from a point of view like, if I can have this experience and I actually learn a lot from it, then I'll be able to teach, I'll be able to coach. That was my main intention, right? So I think for you, you make it sound too easy. I think if I were to ask you one question, right? Because when you make it sound too easy, the audience will think that, hey, so easy only, but it's you and I know that when you actually start rolling up your sleeve and going to the ground, it's not so simple, right?
Yes,
so
correct.
Can you share a bit more, like when you move from employee to self-employed, right? I think you didn't really share enough in terms of the activity that you do, because I know you are bloody hardworking, no? Used to work 5 days a week, but when you're actually self-employed, then you're actually working 7 days a week, right?
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, share a bit your schedule. How is it like? Because you were like moving between Singapore and Johor.
Yeah, I think this is a good one to actually also share with all, especially those have 2 jobs on, especially those, because like myself, Monday to Wednesday, so I in physio work. So which means that I cannot do anything. I have to focus in the physio works. Then when I come back to Johor, right, Thursday onwards, right, I become a salesperson. So it's totally contradictory. So I have to tell myself, oh, I have to start to find clients. But when Thursday, when I start off to Johor, right, if Monday to Wednesday, you didn't do any work, you won't be able to have appointment, you won't be able to see any clients at all. So it means that Thursday you are rotting. So you're wasting Thursday period. So then what for you're coming out, right? So I am experiencing this. Then during that time, right, I told myself I have to be busy. So how? I simply run around, meet people, hey, come and chat. So during that period, it's actually 9 months, took me 9 months to actually from northern part all the way to southern part of Johor. And I one day meet 3 people, very tired already. Then I tell myself, wow, very busy for 9 months. Then my buddies told me, so what result you got? Wow, I tell you, this hit to my heart. He said, you're so busy, you're not even unable to message. But I got zero income, or maybe about a few thousands during that time when I start up this journey. So you can't imagine that it's like, during work, you have to be professional. You don't be distracted by other stuff. But 5:30 onwards, finish your work day. Yeah, I start to grab these opportunities to actually start to see which clients to follow up at the night time. Then Thursday when I come out, right, I have appointment to see. That's how I started slowly. Yeah, so I would say that if you are into 2 jobs, right, you first thing, I would say that stay focused also. And the second, you have to really have the mindset that the second income is actually your future, as in like you need to work hard to get it. The first income, you just make sure that you can survive first before you go into the second income. For me, I believe other people may be different story, but for me, I need to make sure that the Monday to Wednesday work right for me to survive first. And then the Thursday onwards, the job is actually to build my empire and build my passive income. That's the
Lovely,
thing.
lovely. I love how when you shared with me previously, like that formula, right? It also gave me an aha because when I went through my third crisis, I think I shared last episode that you were one of the person that actually came and helped me, introduced me to For You, and then got to meet your team, your buddies, right? Like Greg, Rin, Sen. So it's really a very supportive team. I think without you guys, I don't know what I would do to turn around my situation then, right? So yeah, I mean, I can't thank you enough, and also I'm happy you share the formula because before that I always thought you look very chill, very slumber, like nothing much to do on. But when you actually share with me your work ethic and your work activity, then it gives me that affirmation that actually what I'm doing is actually on the right track as well. Because sometimes you wonder, you work so hard 7 days a week, you're so tired for what? Might as well go back to employment. Employment, you probably get much more income, right? But it's really that, do you have that big why or that big goal that you want to strive for? For you, it's your big empire. For me, is I want to make sure that, I can help enough people to change their financial situation so that they can get to live better. And this
Yeah.
is really what continue to motivate us.
Yes, correct. I think entrepreneurship, like people always tell me, my tiger always tell, find the big why. So initially, if don't have this why, right, I would say the result will tell one. Actually, if for money's sake, just want to do this. But when obstacle change, right, I always have a mindset tell me, it's okay, this money, never mind. I go for another money options. So it's actually the why that we need to have it. Or along the way, we keep finding our why to do it. Like Kao say, or Sifu say, help people, inspire people from this journey. So actually make you feel more happy when you see some result, right? You want to do more. Yeah, that's the things that keep inspiring me. So same, I think when I start, right, I want to introduce this beautiful place to people. I always tell myself, like always tell me, this beautiful place, you can share it out to foreigners or even to the overseas people, how beautiful this place. Then actually it's really great achievement. Actually, really you feel like very proud that actually Malaysia have such beautiful place when I start this property entrepreneurship. This is first why that I found when I start slowly fine tune to get it. Yeah. And then along the way, I also find the second thing that actually works for me is like, because I got some result in properties, so I'm always happy to share. Whenever people ask me about properties, I would say that I will share my journey with you. And then if I can do it, I believe you all can do it also. Because I'm from a zero background about property investment. And I just, like people, study 4 years, come out to work. And if I can invest these properties and get some result, right? I believe anyone, as long as got this motivation to do it, you will get it, right? So that's why when people come to find me Yamcha, I'm very happy to share with them. So that's how I learn. I learn from them also. They're actually out there a lot of great people.
Yeah.
When you step out of your comfort zone, especially like Wednesday, Thursday, when not working, you go to the class, you will see wonderful, amazing people out there.
Yeah, so for those of you who actually have questions, please type your question into the comment box. We'll be asking BK. But while you guys are typing, actually, I love how BK share it. We all have to step out of our comfort zone, because if not, exactly like what's happening right now, COVID. COVID will force you, or any recession or any situation will force you out of your comfort zone. And it's definitely better to learn at our own pace, stepping out of our comfort zone before we are forced to do it, right? So so far we have Mark. Hi Mark. I think Mark is somebody who's actually following us quite regularly, right? Do ask your question. So while we're waiting for them to ask the question, right? I just want to ask you, because we're also running out of time already, because if there's three things that when you went through your situation, when you hit your financial problem at the time, when you overbuy the three property, what would you say are the three things that you learned or you did to overcome the situation?
Yeah. So I think the first one I would say is actually believe to see it rather than see it first and believe. I think every one of us will come to a road junction whereby no confidence. Like I buy my 4 properties. Do I really achieve a positive cash flow like Kaho mentioned? Or what if I get negative cash flow? I'll be drowned. So actually believe it. Of course, you need back by your hard work, your diligence,
Yep.
and find the correct people. Don't ask a swimmer to how to climb a tree. So I would say ask the correct people who got the result in this industry or in this certain field. Yeah, then it actually helps believe. Yeah, that's the first thing when I first come across to you. I would say that this is the first lesson I learned in my life. Yeah.
Anything else?
Oh, okay, so a second one, you want me to share 3, right? So I want to share.
Yeah.
Okay, I think the second one to me is actually when entrepreneur, it comes to an entrepreneur in a JB. I would say, really thanks to my Kahoso and my team, especially in Johor, I would say that mixed with the correct environment, even I'm zero knowledge or I'm a foolish people, but in the correct group, right? How to say the Sun Wukong, the pig also can become very good all together to the journey to the west. So I would say the second one in Mandarin, I will call it. I remember this because it goes deeply to me because my Taiko always told me, 如果你没有慧根 no wisdom, 你要慧根 you must learn how to follow. Once you follow,
very cheap,
you get your wisdom. This is, I tell you, I really deep in me when I want to do sharing. I always tell people, immerse yourself in the environment, the correct environment. Then you have a lot of seafoods out there because you don't have wisdom, right? You just follow them. They will bring you to the success also.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the second lesson I learned when I start my entrepreneurs. Yeah. So the third one, I would say that until now, we always, especially in pandemic, it teach me one more powerful thing, and I feel that I always want to practice. And thanks to my girlfriend also, she's the one who actually reminds me or even encourage me to be grateful, especially in this period. We always be grateful to whatever things that happen to us, and persistent to do something. Always be grateful, especially because Kahui told me one of the session, right? Actually, you shared with me what spiritual actually I want to do, right? So actually, you bring it up for me that actually at night, right, I always be grateful for one thing at that day, what happened to me. So
Lovely.
Always be grateful. And suddenly I will find that, there are actually wonderful people around me. I didn't notice about it. I wouldn't say that I won't see it. If grateful, right? Even simple things by that person, I feel that I say, really thanks to this person, then it helps me. Like example, when my housemate, all this, when I have course, right, they suddenly cook for me. I feel like, wow, so really grateful. So I can attend my course fully. So I think start from grateful, you will realize wonderful result or wonderful people around you. Yeah. So I
Yeah,
think these are 3 lessons for me along my journey.
yeah, it's a very lovely sharing, and I think it's very relevant to whatever situation that we're going through right now. And I just want to say this, BK, I think one of your biggest strengths, if you do not know, right? I mean, since we've already known each other for 7 years, I
Yeah.
think it's about being humble. Uh, because just now you mentioned about being foolish. Luckily, you've been in a group, but because there are wiser people and smarter people. But I just want to say that, hey, you 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 won't have somebody who's foolish that is able to get a medical degree only. Correct or not? So I think sometimes you put yourself down too much, and I think that's the reason why I find it very motivated to help you at that point of time, because uh, one thing I learned from you as well is, I mean, throughout this whole sharing as well, if I can just wrap up, is really you, the first time I got to know you during how you got your results, because at the time I was coaching about 7 people, you were the fastest out of the 4 people that got the results. And I would attribute it to this quality, which I just want to share with the audience, which is um, keeping it simple. You know how some people overcomplicate things. When certain things, when you're teaching or when you're coaching some people, then they will start asking A, B, C, D, until Z. But you make it very straightforward, like, okay, this is what I need to do. Then you just do it, and as you go along, then you fine tune the results, which along the years, actually, I also learned from you, because I guess law of attraction, you tend to attract people who are like you. So I would say that I'm also quite complicated and analysis paralysis. So when I went through the whole experience with you, I learned this uh, new part. Especially if you're going through the entrepreneurial journey, you better keep things simple, because things are already complicated enough. Don't you agree?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, ourselves didn't settle down. A lot of people, we will attract different people, I would say.
Yeah. So since there's no question, I mean, I really want to thank you, BK, for doing this, because I think your story do inspire a lot of people, and I wish we had more time, because there's so many things that I wanted to ask you some more. And if there's one thing you would like to share before we end today's session, what would it be?
I would say very big thank you to you, first thing, because without the first, I think 2014, without this first kickstart, right, I won't be able to start my journey until today, whereby I actually realized that life is not just working, and actually we learn from the experience when we see people and we meet great people. Yeah, so I would say that really a big thank you. Especially, I'm quite blessed to have such great people like you, and of course my teammates along the way. There are a lot of these great leaders out there. Yeah, so they are the one who actually cherish or even mold myself into this, and I'm still learning today. Then I would say, yeah, let's learn together and don't always give up. And whenever we set the things, just do it. Don't know, just ask the wiser people. There are always people who are willing to teach us if we ask them.
Yeah, actually, I want to say thank you very much for allowing me the chance to serve, because then only by serving we realize that we can learn so much more. But for your information, as a disclaimer, I didn't pay BK to say that. Yeah, but
Yeah, I really
I'm
want to thanks for this because of this.
honestly, I'm honestly grateful for that as well, that experience as well. So I just want to wrap up today by inviting for all of you who are listening to this turnaround webinar. If you decided, or rather, if you learned something along this past 1 hour, uh, we actually have much more learning in our Telegram channel, which we're going to share with you in the link below. So our intention here is really, I mean, honestly, I'm also struggling. I'm not somebody, especially when we ask BK to share how we buy properties and we make it so easy, sound like the way we buy properties, but honestly, we went through our crisis as well. And the reason why we wanted to share our story here is because we felt that a lot of people can learn from our mistakes, right? So again, if you guys have got a story to tell, do reach out to me. I'll be happy to go through with you and see how we can feature you so that you can help more people along the way, right? And lastly, have a safe and I mean, stay safe, stay home. Yeah, stay home, and please, by all means, get vaccinated lah. How many percent is it? What's the herd immunity there in Singapore, percentage wise? Do you
Oh,
know?
I lost count. I don't know, but I know that now it's coming to the age 12. So you can imagine that Singapore is popular for elderly people. So all the elderly people are already almost there already. Now go to the
Nice,
youngest group.
nice.
Yeah. So hopefully Malaysia also, let's vaccinated and stay safe. The most important, yeah, so that you can continue pursue your dreams and stay happy with your families. I believe these are the things.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Vicky. Thank you for spending your time with us in these last 60 minutes. Do watch our earlier episode in YouTube channel, right? Good night. Stay safe. Bye.
Bye. Take care, everyone.